At the door, the evil tutor's legs turned completely to jelly. She could feel the CEO's mounting rage radiating across the room. Terrified, she stammered, "Stop spouting nonsense, boy." But it was too late. Cherry hid safely behind Justin, sticking her tongue out at her abuser before whimpering, "Please don't hit me with a ruler again." The ultimate trap had just been sprung. Hello guys, welcome to Tiny Scroll. Be sure to like this video and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. If you are new to the series or missed any part of the drama, there is a link in the description below and a banner popping up right above me to watch the entire playlist from episode 1. Cherry pulled herself together and was just about to speak, but Justin frowned and asked the tutor what she had been thinking. What kind of special measures? The tutor sighed and replied, "Pete was born autistic. He doesn't like to talk, nor does he know how to communicate with others. If this goes on, it'll impede his development. I think you should consider either sending him to medical specialists for treatment or to a school for children with special needs." Her eyes shone after she spoke. If Pete was sent to a special needs school, he'd be diagnosed as having a severe learning disability. Then they'd be able to ruin his future, just as she'd been instructed to do. That tutor's horrible. Cherry remembered what had happened before her dad arrived. She looked at Justin. If Daddy agreed with what the woman was suggesting, she'd stop seeing him as a father and would get Mummy to save Pete from their clutches. She needn't have worried. Justin's expression instantly darkened. He retorted fiercely, "Pete is fine. He doesn't need to attend a school for children with special needs. If you can't teach him, then I'll find someone else." "Lawrence?" "Yes, sir." "Settle her wages immediately," Justin ordered. "She doesn't need to come in anymore." The tutor was shocked by his sudden anger. Justin was usually very polite to her, which had made her forget how domineering a man he really was. She had made a mistake. She shouldn't have pushed it so far so suddenly. She should have taken it slow. Seeing that she was out of a job, she made a last-ditch attempt to complete her mission. Putting on a sincere, earnest expression, she said, "I am the top domestic tutor in the state, Mr. Hunt. My advice is undoubtedly in your son's best interest. But since you refuse to listen to the truth, then forget I said anything. I enjoyed myself very much during my time with Pete. Goodbye." Her speech was what an exemplary tutor would be expected to say. Justin's anger faded a little, and he said, "Give her an extra 6 months' wages." The tutor was ecstatic. 6 months' wages was a lot of money, especially added to what the old lady had given her. Cherry, who was listening to them intently, was pleased. Daddy hadn't given up on Pete. He cared and was protective of him. It was just that he had been deceived by that wicked tutor. As she watched her walk happily toward the door, Cherry's quick mind sprang into action. Her big eyes stared up at Justin innocently, and she asked him, "Daddy, am I a little bastard without a mother?" Justin was taken aback. He looked down at the child who was gazing up at him so trustingly. The young, innocent voice made what the child said next sound particularly heartbreaking. "Am I really stupid? Is it Mummy's fault that I'm not as smart as Daddy?" Justin was shocked. His son rarely spoke this much, and he didn't understand where these troubling questions were coming from. He restrained his fury and asked gently, "Who told you these things, Pete?" Cherry stretched out her arm and pointed her chubby little finger at the door. She did. At the door, the tutor's legs turned to jelly the instant she heard the accusation. She could feel Justin's anger and said fearfully, "Stop spouting nonsense, Pete." Cherry hid behind Justin and hugged his leg. She stuck her tongue out at the tutor and said, "Please don't hit me again."
"I'm sorry."
The tutor looked at her in surprise. Is that really the little dimwit who doesn't talk? Seeing how fearful his son looked, Justin didn't give the tutor a chance to explain any further. He ordered, "Take her out, Lawrence." "Yes, sir." Lawrence grabbed the tutor and pushed her firmly into the hallway. Justin rubbed Cherry on the head comfortingly and said, "You play by yourself for a while, Pete." He knew what was about to happen would not be suitable for children. Cherry wanted to stay with her father, but she knew he needed to deal with the tutor first. It was just like how Mommy had sometimes blindfolded her and told her to count the sheep when she'd gone into fights when they'd been living abroad. She nodded, "Okay, Daddy." Justin only left the room after seeing Cherry pick up a toy car. Lawrence was an efficient man. He'd already got the truth out of the tutor. He explained what she told him. It's your uncle and his family that bribed them. They want to make Pete into a stubborn, problematic child so that their own children can take over the corporation. The 2 tutors were sent by your grandmother, which explains why we didn't vet them properly. We didn't suspect a thing. We won't be so negligent next time. But Grandma loves Pete more than anyone. How could she? Justin clenched his fists and asked, "What did they do to Pete?" Lawrence looked at the floor. They didn't teach him properly, and most of what they did teach him was wrong. They punished him by making him stand, slapping his hands with a ruler and reprimanding him. There was no other physical abuse, mostly because they were afraid someone would discover what was going on. Justin looked at the trembling woman, backed up against the wall, and headed for her, planting his hands on the wall either side of her head and leaning in until their faces were only inches apart. He hissed, "You'll never work with children again. You hear me? You're done. Get out of my sight." He was shaking with anger at how he'd been tricked and the cruel treatment of his son, but he managed to step back and restrain the urge to put his fist through something. He grunted at Lawrence, "Throw her out." Lawrence's heart trembled at Justin's temper, but he too was furious at what these people had done to Pete. Justin had always loved and doted on his son. It was just that his way of expressing it was sometimes a little off the mark. Justin returned to the room. When he saw the child he thought to be his son on the sofa playing with a toy car, his heart tightened with guilt. Pete had been with Justin since he'd been a baby. He'd done everything for him, cared for him, nursed him, changed his diapers, everything a father should. But Pete hadn't started to talk. When they'd seen a doctor about it, Justin was told that Pete had autism. Grandma had said that it must be because the boy didn't have a mother and so had no sense of security. She'd said that the boy shouldn't be looked after by just one man anymore. She'd arranged for babysitters, family doctors, and tutors for him. As Pete slowly grew older, he was able to start having short conversations with people. This had convinced Justin that his grandmother had been right, so he'd trusted her suggestions from then on. Pete was a stubborn boy, and he and Justin were often at loggerheads. The child often made Justin so angry that he felt like giving him a good thrashing, though he never had. Despite that, he had continued to think that this was a phase that all normal children went through. That was until the incident last week. "It's all my fault." Justin walked over and sat beside Cherry. He softened his voice and said, "Daddy is sorry, Pete." Cherry stretched out her little arms and hugged him. "Everything will be fine, Daddy. Thanks for saying sorry. Can we start again and be different now?" Justin sighed. Then he said seriously, "We won't engage any more tutors. I'll be teaching you from now on. We'll get started right now. How about that?" Cherry was taken aback. She hated having to do homework. Help Pete. When Nora returned to the room, she found the child she thought to be her daughter sitting on the sofa and waiting for her obediently, instead of playing games on her phone like she usually did. She walked over and kissed the child on the forehead. "He's so well behaved today, baby." The soft lips pressing against his skin caused Pete to freeze. He was still not used to the closeness. "Mommy's so soft and gentle." He stared at her longingly and then noticed her looking at him with a half-amused smile. "Are you intending to take a bath with me, Cherry?" Only then did Pete realize with a start that he'd been so lost in his daydreaming that he'd gotten up and followed her to the bathroom. He was about to leave, but Nora stooped over and picked him up. She said, "Forget it. Let's give you a bath first." Alarm bells rang in Pete's head. If she bathed him, she'd definitely find out he was a boy and not Cherry after all. His identity would be revealed. Pete is in absolute panic mode right now. What do you think he is going to do to escape this bath without Nora finding out he's a boy? Will the twin switch finally be exposed right here in the bathroom? Drop your predictions and theories in the comments below. I want to read what you think will happen next. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to Tiny Scroll so you never miss episode 19. See you in the next one.